Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Chappelle.
Thank you. Oh boy, I'm very nervous. No pressure. During the civil rights movement, I can't read what's on the teleprompter. Some about black America and white America. There's black Americans and there's white Americans. We're all one America. So if you don't mind, this is not live, is it? I imagine whatever I say, you could just edit it out. Let's try it a few ways. Lou, are you in the booth?
I am.
All right, good. You know what, Lou? Let's just play around with it and see if we can get it right, get this clip package on, and then let me go home, all right?
You got it.
All right.
Ready.
All right, count me in.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Wu-Tang. I'm just with you, Lou. Let's do it again. We're going to do it again. We'll get it right.
Here we go, Dave. 5, 4, 3, 2.
You know, when I was a comedian starting out in Washington, D.C., right here in this city, 1988, I'll never forget this. It was a comedy club owner that banned profanity from his comedy club. He said it offended his audience, and this was a cause of major concern for all the comedians in the circuit. And we all called a meeting, and we had the owners come, and it was the club owners, and it was the comedians. It was the classic labor dispute. The club owners laid out their case. There cannot be profanity in these clubs because that offends people. And there's a comedian who's still a good friend of mine to this day. He lives right here in Washington, D.C. He stood up and he said, he's black, I should tell you because it's important to the story. He says, I use profanity because I live a profane lifestyle. He says, I don't have an insect infestation in my house. I have roaches. My favorite comedians are like musicians, and the audience is their instrument. And the music they make is your laughter. And that's the laughter that I scored my entire life to. So now, some of my favorite American comedic composers. Thank you.
When I lose my job, I lose my man. Treats me like a dog. He called me a dog. Yes, he did. What did he call me? An old dog. Sometimes I wished I was a dog and he was a tree.
When you stop and think, football's a fair sport for my people. Only sport in the world a Negro can chase a white man and 40,000 people stand up and cheer.
See, in my neighborhood, the kids have a kind of a dubious reaction to that whole Santa Claus concept. They just don't believe that a white man will ride a reindeer through Harlem after midnight.
In truth, white friend, it's you that all look alike. But look at the black people around you. We all different colors. Black walnut, burnt elk, almond, chocolate mocha, pecan, vanilla, yellow, mellow, light, bright, and damn near white.
We come from the first people on the earth. You know, the first people on the earth were black people. We the first people had thought, right? We was the first one to say,
where am I? And how do you get to Detroit?
I think maybe like 30 years ago, there was a woman that wanted to sing, and a black lady that sang opera that wanted to sing. What was her name? Mary Anderson. And this place was like segregated, and they couldn't sing here. And here we are, like not even 50 years later, a 22-year-old black man on stage getting paid to hold his. God bless America. I gotta go now. Y'all take it easy. Bye-bye.
Janelle Monáe, Will Smith, Common, Gladys Knight, and John Legend when we continue.
Yeah, man. Well, you ladies are right. To be honest with you, your lives look terrifying to me. They do, man. I know nothing about being a woman, but I know fear. Yo, I used to live in New York when I was 17. And I couldn't even pay my bills. You know what I did to make money? I used to do shows for drug dealers that wanted to clean their money up. One time I did a real good set, and these motherfuckers called me in the back room. They gave me $25,000 in cash. I was probably 18, 19 years old. I'm scared. I thanked them profusely. I put that money in my backpack. I jumped on the subway and started heading towards Brooklyn at 1 o'clock in the morning. Never been that terrified in my life. Because I never in my life had something that somebody else would want. I thought to myself, Jesus Christ, if motherfuckers knew how much money I had in this backpack, they'd kill me for it. Then I thought, holy shit. What if I had a pussy on me all the time? That's what women are dealing with. I'm going to tell you right now. It's real talk. If them same drug dealers gave me pussy and said, put this in your backpack and take it to Brooklyn, I'd be like, nigga, I can't accept this. I empathize, man, you know. Everybody gets mad because I say these jokes. But you understand that this is the best time to say them. More now than ever. And I know there's some comedians in the back. Motherfucker, you have a responsibility to speak recklessly. Otherwise. New York Times said that Louis C.K. jizzed on his own stomach. You know, I've busted a lot of nuts in my day. None of them were newsworthy. Shit was really gross, because they didn't just say it like I said it. They didn't just say jizz on the stomach. They said it in that fucking Pulitzer Prize winning style that the New York Times has. It was very descriptive, like, you know what I mean? Louis C.K.'s semen shot out like a volcano of misogyny, slowly drizzling down like lava, covering his freckled penis as it slowly dripped to a fiery crown of red hair. Jesus Christ, I'm trying to eat some huevos rancheros and these niggas is... And you know the tough part, being a comedian, knowing the motherfuckers, everybody comes up to me like, did you know? Did you know what Louis was doing? No, bitch, I did not know. The fuck you think we talk about at the comedy club? Hey, nigga, how was the weekend? Great, man. I was just jerking off in faces and coming on my own stomach, having a good time. You know how this business is. No, I didn't know. They act like we sit around like Grease. Tell me more, tell me more. Then she put up a fight. Dun, 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 dun. Sorry, I don't know the choreography, but you get the point. You get the point. She was intense. But Louis was like the turning point. I mean, you know, all these allegations are terrible. Louis was the only... I shouldn't say this, but fuck it. His allegation was the only one that made me, like, laugh. Well, if you think about it... Because all his friends reading it, and he's jerking off, and he's surprising people. He's surprising me. I just picture all the comics in comedy just reading it like, what? It's terrible. I know it's terrible. I'm sorry, ladies. You're right. You are right. But at the same time, I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. Jesus Christ, they took everything from Louis. I was like, I mean, it might be disproportionate. I can't tell. I can't tell. This is like where it's hard to be a man. One lady said, Louis C.K. masturbating in front of me ruined my comedy dreams. Word? Well, then I dare say, madam, you may have never had a dream. Come on, man, that's a brittle spirit. That is a brittle ass spirit, nigga. That shit is too much. This is a grown ass woman. You know what this shit is like? It's like COINTELPRO. You know what that is? It's a program that the FBI had on J. Edgar Hoover. In this program, one of the many things they did was they would track the sexual habits of anyone they considered an enemy of the state. It was a lip button. That's why they got all these fucking sex tapes with Martin Luther King fucking bitches. But lucky for us, he actually had a dream. You think if Louis C.K. jerked off in front of Dr. King, he'd be like, I can't continue this movement? I'm sorry, but the freedom of black people must be stopped. I didn't know this nigga was gonna pull his dick out and jerk off like this. I just thought we were gonna get a couple of drinks and chill. Show business is just harder than that. Them women sounded like, I hate to say it, y'all, they sound weak. I know it sounds fucked up, I'm not supposed to say that, but one of those ladies was like, Louis C.K. was masturbating while I was on the phone with him. Bitch, you don't know how to hang the phone? How the fuck are you going to survive in show business if this is an actual obstacle to your dreams? I know Louis is wrong, ma'am. I'm just saying I'm held to a higher standard of accountability than these women are. Don't forget who I am. Don't forget what I am. I am a black dude.
Well, this has been fucking wonderful. I don't know what to say, man. I don't even want this night to end. I promise you, whoever cares the most, I care at least as much as them. I know what I got, because I lost it all. I gotta tell you something, and I don't talk about it often. Have you ever worked all your life for something and have it not work out? That happened to me. It was tough. Think about it. I was gone for 12 years. It's not a little bit of time. It was hell. I watched other niggas that I knew become very famous. I watched the world go on without me. I mourned the loss of it. And after a while, I didn't care. Coming back was terrifying. I understand what I am. I really do. More than anybody. Like when they write about me in history, I'll be dead reading it like, yeah, I know they'd say that. They say that a person can't dream of a face they've never seen. Can't believe that's true. But it's probably true. Boy, I got a long bank of faces. 32 years, I could close my eyes. I could think of any night. There's so many faces. Every night, most nights, they're all looking up, smiling. You have no idea what the world looks like from there. All different races, all different colors, all different kind of beliefs, just looking at me, smiling for 32 years, night after night. No comedian take that for granted. I swear to God, this might be the noblest of professions. Robin Williams had a bar that I loved. He said, comedy is the only job you can have where you can use everything you know. And that's true. You can use more than you know. You can use what you think. Use it. Don't be afraid. Don't let these bitch-ass niggas button your lip. Say it anyway.
I first became aware of Dave Chappelle right around before the first Study Professor, because I was supposed to play that role that he played. And then I kind of saw him, and I was like, hey, that guy, right, that kid would be funny playing that role.
I try to be peaceful, but now it's time for Reggie to karate-size your ass. Woo!
Dave is so much smarter than everyone. Like, Dave is one of the most, maybe the most intellectual comedian ever.
It took us 400 years to figure out as a people that white people's weakness the whole time was kneeling during their national anthem. That's a brittle spirit. That's right, nigga. On the Rockets, regular.
What are you doing, nigga? Stand up!
He stretched the art form and his impact on the culture. He is the voice of his generation, without question. Nobody's even close to him.
No, I've had to learn, and that's where Dave Chappelle has been a wonderful friend and mentor.
What did Chappelle say to you that helped you with that?
Chappelle said to me, we were doing a show at Radio City together. It was during his run.
Right.
And I was on one of the shows, and he said to me, I said, man, what am I going to tell these? Because I was like, I'm going to do comedy before Dave Chappelle. I was like, Dave, what am I even doing here? And Dave said, and I said, I don't even know if I'm funny enough to be here. I said, you're nice, and I think I'm a really funny guy, but what am I doing here? And Dave said, look, man. He said, you don't understand something. He said, you're not here because you're funny. He says, I know 100 funny motherfuckers out there. He said, you're here because you're interesting. And he said, anyone can be funny. Not everybody can be interesting. Not everyone can make an audience listen to what they're saying. Not everyone has a wealth of life experience that makes people want to know what they have in their minds. And so that changed my perspective on silence. And so now, if I can hear that an audience is listening, I'm engaged.
Well, that is a great piece of advice, not only for comics, but for anybody, because, wow, the thing that I love about Chappelle, and you just identified it, is he will go.
He's interesting.
And he is an interesting guy.
He's the most interesting man I've ever met. That's what makes Dave Chappelle. Many people are funny. There's a lot of funny stand-up comedians all over the world.
Yes.
But what makes Dave Chappelle is that he is interesting. It's how he sees the world between the jokes.
But all jokes aside, Kevin Spacey shouldn't have done that shit to that kid. He's 14 years old and was forced to carry a grown man's secret for 30 years. Jesus Christ, he must have been busting at the seams with that one. The saddest part is, if he were able to carry that secret for 6 more months, I would get to know how House of Cards ends.
Loved was, I can't believe that I've been in this business long enough that we're like the older guys now. It always blows my mind that I'm like 5 years older than Dave Chappelle, because he was already a made guy when I came in. So I always look at him like he's got 10 years on me, or 15. And, just when I watch his act, I'm like, this guy's clearly been doing this a good couple of decades longer than me. And the reality is, I think he's only been doing it like 6 years longer than I have or something like that. He's fucking amazing. And what I love, too, is just he's that same, with all that's changed, everybody getting offended, all of this fucking crap, how you get in trouble, he hasn't changed at all. He's just like that same guy that I saw way back in the day when I used to go to the Boston Comedy Club and watch him go on at like 2 a.m. and just start murdering at 2 a.m. And I remember I used to always sit there going, how do you do that? How are you that funny at 2 a.m. in front of a crowd that gave up on the show like an hour ago, and they're tired and they just want to go home? That second he steps on stage, boom, he just starts fucking killing.
Dave's a beast. Dave's a beast, man. That's the only man that puts a little fear in my heart. I'm like, okay,
it's real.
What's he doing?
Do you watch him?
Totally.
You study?
Totally. I got Chappelle. I got an app. I follow him. I'm like, my man Prince Paul always says, competition keeps you in condition.
True.
So yeah, that's my man right there.
The other real special shout out I gotta make, because none of this would have been possible on any level without this person, is my mother. Mom. My mother. Mom. You have no idea what I put this woman through. If you had just given birth to me, that would have been more than enough. But the fact that she raised me and raised me well, we had a real oral tradition in our house. I knew the word griot when I was a little boy. A griot was a person in Africa who was charged with keeping the stories of the village. Everyone would tell a griot the stories, and they would remember them all so that they could tell future generations. And when they got old, they'd tell them to someone else. And they say in Africa, when a griot dies, it's like a library was burnt down. And my mother used to tell me, before I ever thought about doing comedy, she said, you should be a griot. And she'd fill me with every story of black life. You know, she's educated in African American studies, and she would let me understand the context that I was being raised in. That I'm being raised in a hostile environment that I have to tame. By the time I was 14 years old, I was in nightclubs, mastering an adult world. It was terrifying. The crack epidemic was going on, and my mother would hear gunshots outside and be scared to death. Maybe it's my son. But early in my career, if you remember, Mom, you used to sit in the club with me. She'd do a full day of work. You'd be back there falling asleep, just waiting for me to go on. She would watch my show every night. Do you know how long that car ride is home? How many of you have ever heard your mother say, pussy jokes were a little too much tonight, son? I was a soft kid. I was sensitive, I'd cry easy, and I would be scared to fist fight. And my mother used to tell me this thing, I don't even know if you remember, but you said this to me more than once. You said, son, sometimes you have to be a lion so you can be the lamb you really are. I talk this shit like a lion. I'm not afraid of any of you. When it comes word to word, I will gab with the best of them, just so I can chill and be me. And that's why I love my art form, because I understand every practitioner of it. Whether I agree with them or not, I know where they're coming from. They want to be heard. They got something to say. There's something they notice. They just want to be understood. Love this genre. It saved my life. I'm fucking around. Yeah, man. Well, you ladies are right. To be honest with you, your lives look terrifying to me. They do, man. I know nothing about being a woman, but I know fear. Yo, I used to live in New York when I was 17, and I couldn't even pay my bills. You know what I did to make money? I used to do shows for drug dealers that wanted to clean their money up. One time I did a real good set, and these motherfuckers called me in the back room. They gave me $25,000 in cash. I was probably 18, 19 years old. I was scared. I thanked them profusely. I put that money in my backpack. I jumped on the subway and started heading towards Brooklyn at 1 o'clock in the morning. Never been that terrified in my life. Because I never in my life had something that somebody else would want. I thought to myself, Jesus Christ, if motherfuckers knew how much money I had in this backpack, they'd kill me for it. Then I thought, holy shit. What if I had a pussy on me all the time? That's what women are dealing with. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's real talk. If them same drug dealers gave me a pussy and said, put this in your backpack and take it to Brooklyn, I'd be like, nigga, I can't accept this. I empathize, man, you know. Everybody gets mad because I say these jokes. But you understand that this is the best time to say them. More now than ever. And I know there's some comedians in the back. Motherfucker, you have a responsibility to speak recklessly. Otherwise, my kids may never know what reckless talk sounds like. The joys of being wrong. I didn't come here to be right. Just came here to fuck around. It's hot in here suddenly, isn't it? I wonder where that heat came from. I wonder what happened to me. Where did I go for 12 years if I wasn't raped? Maybe there's something else going on. Maybe these rapes aren't even the worst of it. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't that be something? You can go ahead and go to the bathroom, Brooklyn. You don't need to hear this shit. He's under an enormous amount of pressure. He is. Just being big and black with that hairdo, nigga, motherfuckers.
suspect for everything. Except white collar crime. Sometimes I wouldn't talk about where I went, but y'all don't even want to know. I was gone for a long time, nigga. I was in the upside down. Scary being a white dude now, isn't it? A little bit, no? Well, you're not gonna get me too. But you know what I mean? It's funny for a black dude to see white people go through this because this is how it always is for us. All my heroes is either murdered by the government or registered sex offenders. Sad, I know, man. But we've already been through it. Like Michael Jackson. Remember when they said all that shit about Michael Jackson? They never proved anything till his dying day. But they said that he did some very heinous things. And one time I watched a documentary about it. They were talking about all the shit Michael Jackson allegedly did. And as they were saying all these allegations, they started showing pictures of his home, the Neverland Ranch. You ever seen Michael Jackson's house on television? Well, the short of it is, and I saw the whole thing, exotic animals and Ferris wheels and merry-go-rounds and shit. And the more they showed it, the more certain I was that I don't think Michael Jackson did any of those things they said he did. His house didn't look sexual. It looked like he was flossing on those motherfuckers. It didn't look like he was trying to fuck kids. It looked like he was just trying to impress them. Like, this nigga's Jay-Z for kids. Like, he just walking through his house. This is my cotton candy machine. It makes 3 tons of cotton candy a day. You know, all the cotton candy you want. This closet is filled with nothing but custom-made karate slippers. Isn't that cool? Shall I have my monkey bring us more cupcakes? Hey guys, let's watch a movie. What movie do you want to see? Home Alone. Oh, no, don't touch the DVD player. Macaulay Culkin's here, he can act it out. Come on, Macaulay. Act out Home Alone for my guests. Hey, mister. This is fantastic, man. We had you all wrong. All wrong? What? I don't understand. What do you mean? Huh? Oh, well, you know, man, we thought it was going to be the usual. Like, you're going to have us come over and give us some wine cooler and, you know, suck our dicks. What? Suck your dick? You faggot-ass kids. Why trying to suck your dick, nigga? I was trying to show you a better life. Bubbles, get these kids the fuck out of my house. You're just like everyone else. Hollywood is no place for moral absolutism. You know what I mean? We must never forget that R. Kelly peed on a 15-year-old girl. And he also wrote, I Believe I Can Fly. Same guy, same lifetime. If I showed you that video of him peeing on that girl and scored it to I Believe I Can Fly, he'd be torn. I used to think that I could not go on if I can see it. It's okay, my career ended many years ago. Order. No, I'm terrible. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. You want to know what happened to me? Nah. It's tempting, but I don't want to talk about it. Maybe at the end, when I run out of things to talk about. Actually, I'm almost there. I'm just trying to tell you what happened to me was I just didn't have a good go of it. I don't know what you guys think happens when you quit a successful show like this. I'll tell you what doesn't happen. They don't go, hey, well, good luck with your future endeavors. That's not what happens. It was cold out there. For real, I had to watch it all go down without me. I had to watch all those people do my show, Key and Peele and Amy Schumer and Mind and Mencia. Well, I'm not going to say they were doing my show. I'm just saying they had. And people would come up to me on the street and be like, yo, nigga, just every once in a while. Most people thought I was crazy, but sometimes people come, yo, nigga, you did the right thing, man. You my hero. Nigga, I don't want to be your hero. I want to be rich. Never choose to be a hero, because heroes die uncomfortable deaths. All I wanted to be was Paul Revere. I just needed one heroic moment, you understand? Paul Revere's ride was only one night. And then 40 years of him being like, hey, y'all, remember that time everybody was asleep and I was up and the British was coming? Boy, it's a good thing I was awake, nigga. Everybody be dead.
Generation Washingtonian. He is a man who has made already in his young life lasting contributions to our cultural heritage and to humanity. Dave loves Washington, D.C., and we love him right back. He graduated from Duke in 1991 and never stopped coming back. From shouts out to D.C. public schools at this year's Emmy Awards, to supporting D.C. statehood, to attending the unveiling of an iconic mural on the Ben's Chili Bowl. What we love most about Dave is that he is a fervent defender of disenfranchised communities around the world. He's a husband, a father, and he is committed to doing things his way, the Dave Chappelle way, the brash, clever, in-your-face way, and always speaking up for Washington, D.C. Chappelle has long advocated for D.C. public schools, and we were so proud that he helped D.C. public schools trend at the Emmy Awards all across the world. He told people what we already know. Our commitment to public education is unmatched, and our children's talent is even greater. We say to the world that it's obviously D.C. public schools when we're talking about standing up and speaking up for success. Let me just say a bit about the honor I'm about to bestow. The key to the city is the highest honor an individual can receive from our nation's capital. And I am very stingy with them, I gotta tell you. To keep the honor special, it is rarely given. It symbolizes the freedom of the recipient to enter and leave the city at will as a trusted friend to D.C. residents. And as Mayor of Washington, D.C., it is my privilege to present a key to the city to a D.C. Public Schools alum, an Emmy Award winner, in recognition of his outstanding comedic craft, artistic merit, promotion of D.C. values, and overall perseverance. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Chappelle.
It does much better. I want to sit down. Check. All right, can you hear me? Hey, first of all, I wanted to say thank you to the mayor and the administration of the school and the chancellor of DC Public Schools is here today for this honor. And I'm really, really excited to be here, just talk to you guys for a minute. I don't know how much you guys know about me. I came to Ellington school year 87, 88. Like a lot of you guys, I had no audition to get in. It's a story I tell because my audition was terrible. I didn't prepare. And at the end of my audition, the make great question of the theater department, they asked me this. So those of you who audition, I don't know if they asked you this question, but when we was there, they would say to us, why do you want to act? And I remember I said to the theater department teachers, I said, I don't want to act. They said, then why are you here? And I said, well, I want to be a comedian, and somebody told me that to be a good comedian, I should know how to act. And I guess the teachers liked that answer. They knew that I was trying to make myself better. So when I look at you guys, I really do see myself. And there was another thing they used to do in our first year where they would tell us, they'd say, look to the right of you and look to the left of you. And they would talk about all the people that wouldn't make it through the 4 years. And not everybody did. But I want you guys to look to the right of you and I want you to look to the left. I want you to take a good look at each other. And I want you to know something that I learned by the time I'm 44. What I learned is that a lot of these people in this room will be your friends for the rest of your life.
Amen.
That when you see somebody from Ellington out there in the world, it means a lot. And that high school seems like a long time, but it's only 4 years. And you only have to pay attention in your life 2 or 3 times. Just 2 or 3 times. My kids is all the time. I got kids your age. I tell them, yo, you don't have to be awake all the time, but like 3 or 4 times in your life, just pay attention. And I tell my son, I say, look around this beautiful house. I said, everything in this house we're enjoying is based off of decisions I made when I was younger than you. Right now, you guys are making your future. And this is a very important time in your life. And you guys got to be kind to each other. You guys got to help each other get through this time so you'll be successful. And success is not just money or monetary success or stature, but success is your character. Like you have an opportunity to make yourself into a very unique individual because you're a trained artist in whatever your discipline is. A lot of times, high school is like, it's a mean social hierarchy for most people. And I hear people talk about the schools they went to and the football teams and all. We didn't have any of that stuff. But what we had was so much more unique and so much more different than any high school experience I've ever heard of. And when I walked in this building today, it's clear to me that you guys I hope you never take this for granted. Like $170 million is a lot of money. And that's what they spent on you guys, on your future. And the money symbolizes a very rare opportunity to cultivate talent that God gave you. And I hope that you take advantage of it. If you don't, but if you do, and I also want to tell you one last thing. I never went to college. That I did my entire professional career based off the education that I received here at Duke Ellington. And I must tell you that I was wildly prepared. That when we went to school from 8:30 to 5, I'm not gonna lie to you, I hated school. I didn't understand understand what was happening, but years later when I had my own television show and I was working 16-hour days, it felt easy to me because I had school days longer than that. And at least on a television show, I was the boss. Here, I just had to do what everybody told me. I used to mop the stage, well, not this stage, the slip stage. I used to mop the stage that was here, and I used to watch the seniors dance and all that stuff. And it inspired me and made me want to do better. And we all pushed each other in a real friendly and loving way. And even today, friends of mine from Ellington, and I also want to take a quick moment to just remind you guys that being a school teacher is a thankless job. You know, kids are, you know, they just take things for granted when they're there. When I got older and I realized how hard the teachers at the school work on our behalf to keep us safe and to teach us what they know, I hope that you just take a moment at some point in your life to thank them. Because we spend so many hours at the school, they're almost like surrogate parents to us. And they're very influential people in my life. And I didn't realize that, of course, until years later. And when I see them, it makes me feel safe again and happy again and just remember so many good things that they all did for me. And that Peggy did for us. So I appreciate the gift that you gave me today. I brought a gift for you. It's back there. This is my. This is a trophy, but it represents years of hard work. Look, in the course of a career, you go through so many things. You learn on the job, you embarrass yourself, you fall down, you get up, you try harder. Quit my show, people said I'd never work again. I got up, I tried harder. I still do my art almost every day. I still think about my art every day. And I want you guys to have this just so you know that even though the odds are wildly against me, this can happen for you. So this is the people's Emmy, and every once in a while, let's take a look at it and just know that I started earning this Emmy at this school. Yeah, man. And it's yours now, man. I love you guys. I support you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you for that teacher. And go back. Thank you.
My name is Mikhail. I am a first-year theater student here. On behalf of all of the Duke School of the Arts, we want to thank you for the path that you set, for the trail that you blazed for us to follow.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, 8. 1, 2. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 3, 5, 6, 7. 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8. Thank you very much. Good to see you. Good to be seen. Thank you. Okay, let's see your step. Get your stuff.
The second time I met O.J. Simpson, was right after the trial of the century. There I was, now a young man of probably 23. O.J. Simpson was the most famous or infamous face on planet Earth. I was in a restaurant in Beverly Hills with my agents. I wasn't alone in the restaurant, but I was alone. I was the only black person in the restaurant. And in the 90s, that felt very uncomfortable. Now I tend to enjoy it at this age. I was having dinner with my agents, celebrating a deal that they told me was lucrative, but I later learned fucking sucked. And suddenly, a group of women walked by. Every race was in that group. Black, white, Asian, Latina, white, and white again. They were all gorgeous. I watched them walk by. Then, I saw a familiar face. Al Collins, the man from the infamous Bronco check, towards the door. Couldn't believe what I saw. And then, close behind him, was O.J. Simpson, newly released from jail. The restaurant fell still. I was shocked. I didn't mean to say it out loud, but it just came out. O.J. He stopped, turned around to see who said it, saw my black face, and correctly assumed it was me. I was sitting in the corner of the booth. He leaned over all the white people I was having dinner with and shook my hand. How are you, young man? He looked in my eyes, and I could see in his eyes that he didn't remember meeting me the first time. And then he walked away. And I looked back at my agents, and all of them had nothing short of disgust on their faces. And the only one with the courage to voice their disgust was a woman named Sharon, who used to represent me. How could you, she said. How could you shake hands with that murderer? I said, Sharon, with all due respect, that murderer ran for over 11,000 yards. And he didn't fit. Glove didn't fit. Get over yourself. Some people can't do that. Some people just can't get over themselves. Gay people have a hard time doing that recently. Here we go. Here comes the deep water. No, recently I've noticed that. I noticed it with that Manny Pacquiao controversy. Yeah, no, it was now in the gay community's defense. Manny Pacquiao said some outlandish shit about gay people. Very, very not nice things that I won't repeat, but there was biblical verses and some analogies to animals. Wasn't a good look. Nike took his shoes immediately, which I thought was a little harsh. A little harsh. You know what I mean? Because he's just because he's Asian. You know what I mean? Fuck, you gonna take shoes off Asian dude to appease a gay dude? You know what I mean? No, you don't know what I mean. But Asian people kind of know what I mean. No? No Asians in the front? No? No, this is what I mean. Okay, look. Okay, you're an Asian dude. No, I say this with no disrespect. But we're all Americans, right? And we can agree that America has a huge body count all over the world, but nowhere more than Asia. Literally, if you look at history, recently, we have bombed the masculinity out of an entire continent. We dropped 2 atomic bombs on fucking Japan, and they've been drawing Hello Kitty and shit ever since. There's a lot of lady boys in the wake of our bombs. And I know these things because my wife is Asian. She's Filipino. All right, well, okay, so that explains it. Now you know why you see me at all those Filipino events. I'm not there picking up pussy, I'm dropping some off. I take my wife to all that shit. I took my wife to see Pacquiao fight Mayweather. We sat ringside, okay? That was a quiet car ride home. That's what that was. But if you know what's popping in the Philippines, you know that they got a whole generation of kids in the Philippines growing up without their mothers. Yes. A lot of women in the Philippines go to the Arabian Peninsula, they come to the United back home, which is still one of the #1 staples in the Philippines economy. Money that their expats send back to the Philippines. The men, on the other hand, are left rearing children, twiddling their thumbs, waiting on their wives' checks. These men have been fucking emasculated. And then suddenly, a boxer rises from amongst them and reinstates their manhood with his motherfucking fist. This is not the guy you're supposed to ask, what do you think of homosexuals? He's not your champ. Shit. That's why I don't have a sneaker deal, because if you say something that people don't like, they'll take your fucking shoes off. Road ahead. They've got the longest mental gap to bridge. That's all I'm saying. Because, you know, whenever I see one of them T's on the street, I don't mind them, but I'll be like, man, I miss Bruce. I'm sorry, guys. I'm 42. I remember Bruce Jenner. Before the Kardashians, before all that, this motherfucker was a white American superhero. It was amazing. He was beating Africans at track and field. We've never seen anything like it. He was on my cereal box growing up. You know how much of that cereal I ate, nigga? I didn't know he was gonna do that. I knew before you guys knew. I heard things on the street in Hollywood. You know, you just be out, see people. Hey, what's up, Kanye? Why the long face? Nigga, you'll see. Got 2 mother-in-laws now. And when I heard he was going to do it, I was scared. I didn't think the public was ready. I didn't think the media was ready. And you know what? I was wrong. Never seen anything like it. Welcome to the world, Caitlin. So long, Bruce. Hello. Somebody called me a nigga in traffic last Wednesday. It's so long, it takes a minute. My wife's friend, Stuart, told me that. My wife has a lot of gay friends. Stuart's their leader. She has a lot of gay friends. And I don't like them. Not because they're gay, I'm just judging them on the merits of their character. They're just not nice dudes. They're fucking rude house guests. They're sitting on my couch, giggling with my wife, eating my motherfucking macaroons. And I come in, they act like the party's over. Hey, Stuart, what's going on? This guy talks to me the way a cat would speak if a cat could talk. Hi, David. Stuart, what's all the beef, man? What's going on? He always wants to have some kind of gay political argument. The last one was about a petition in federal court to take the words husband and wife out of the law. I said, well, why would you want those words out the law? He said, because it discriminates against same-sex couples. I was like, niggas, please save me the semantics. Just trust me, take your chips and get the fuck out of the casino. You're about to decide, talk that over amongst yourselves, and whichever one of you is gayer, that's the wife. No, Stuart didn't like that. Stuart educates me about this movement, you know what I mean? I didn't even know shit about it. He told me it's called LBGTQ. Q. I was like, what the fuck is the Q? Does that even make sense, Q? Turns out Q is like the vowels. That shit is sometimes Y. It's for gay dudes that don't really know they're gay. You know what I mean? Like prison fags who are like, well, I'm not gay, nigga. I'm just sucking these dicks to pass the time. I'm not G, I'm Q. Ugh. I think, okay, again, of all those letters, the T has the toughest road ahead. In fact, I think the T should stand for tough. If Martin Luther King had a sneaker deal, we'd still be on the back of the bus. They always true, the Nike exec come up, hi, Martin, we need you to tone down the talk of civil rights and blacks being humans. It's upsetting our southern distributors. But I don't understand. I thought that's why I had a sneaker deal in the first place. Not quite. Really, it's a walking shoe, and we like the marching, but try to understand. Fuck that shit. You know, I get it, though. I understand why gay people are mad, and I empathize. You know what? I'm just telling you, this is a black dude. I support your movement, but if you want to take some advice from a Negro, pace yourself. These things take a while. Just because they passed the law doesn't mean they're going to like you. Brown versus Board of Education was in 1955. I was shocked. Is this happening? Wait a minute. Is this a time in American history when an American can make a decision for themselves, and even though other Americans don't understand it, they'll support it? And let this person live a happy life? Is this what's happening? If it is, then good for America. That's Dave Chappelle, the American. Although Dave Chappelle, the black American, he was a little jealous. I was like, how the fuck are transgender people beating black people in the discrimination Olympics? If the police shot half as many transgenders as they did niggas last year, it'd be a fucking war in LA. I know black dudes in Brooklyn, hard street motherfuckers that wear high heels just to feel safe. Transgenders are gangsters. I used to do business with a transgender in Hollywood. Man, everybody would be scared of her in the boardroom. She walk in there, newly minted woman, high heels, purse. Shit. And then she walked to the head of the conference table, stare at us all, reach in her purse, and pull her old dick out and throw it on the table. Let's talk business, gentlemen. Ah! Shit is scary as fuck. If your best friend pitched that to you, you'd be horrified. Yo, nigga, let's go to the hospital and cut our dicks off and make pussies out of them shits. What? Can't we just get matching jackets or tattoos or something? Sure, that's what you want to do? There's only one way to find out, nigga. Wu-Tang! Bow! Bow! Let's go to the club and trick niggas into fucking us, yeah. Well, okay, R. Kelly is different. I mean, you know, if I'm a betting man, I'm gonna put my money on he probably did that shit. I'm pretty sure he did that shit. You know, it was bad, okay, so a couple years ago, I was doing a show in Detroit, and I'm sitting backstage in my dressing room. A friend of mine comes by, this chick, Dream Hampton. Dream tells me, right before I'm going on stage, she goes, Dave, I'm working on a documentary about R. Kelly. Would you like to be in it? And I was like, nah, bitch, I'm cool. I went on stage, I just forgot about the shit. And then 2 years later, the documentary comes out, Surviving R. Kelly. And when it comes out, Dream's promoting the shit, and she keeps bringing me up. She said, I asked Dave Chappelle to be in my documentary, and he said it was too hot for TV. Bitch, I did not say that. It does not even sound like how I talk. Oh, that's too hot for TV? I would never say that shit. But I'm going to tell you guys why I wasn't in the documentary. There's a very simple reason, and I cannot stress this point enough. The only reason that I didn't do it was because, and it's very important, I don't know this nigga at all. I don't know anything. I don't know anything that they don't tell me about. I don't hang out with this nigga, nothing. So what the fuck do I gotta be in the documentary for? This guy, R. Kelly, got another sex tape out now. Can you believe that shit? This guy makes more sex tapes than he does music. He's like the DJ Khaled of sex tapes. Another one. Like, damn, nigga. It's a lot of tapes. The new one's so bad that they didn't even show it. I've never seen anything like this. The prosecutor in Chicago came out in a press conference and read to the media a transcript of a sex tape. Have you ever heard of such a thing? This nigga read the sex tape. And it was so bad that R. Kelly sounded guilty in the transcripts. It's fucking amazing. 16 times the girl's age was mentioned. Isn't that crazy? This motherfucker is an idiot. He was fucking her like, yeah, this is the best 14-year-old pussy I've ever had in my life. And she was like, you like this 14-year-old pussy? He's like, oh yeah, I love this 14. I'm like, man, you need to shut the fuck up. You gotta give your lawyer something to work with. You're supposed to be on the tape like, this is the best 36-year-old pussy I've ever had in my life. And then your lawyer can be like, Your Honor, clearly my client thought that this woman was 36, as he mentioned some 16 times in the tape. They gonna know you lying though, you know what I mean? Everybody knows no such thing as good 36-year-old pussy. Doesn't matter what I say. And if you at home watching this shit on Netflix, remember, bitch, you clicked on my face. Celebrity hunting season. Doesn't matter what I say, they're gonna get everybody eventually. Like, look, I don't think I did anything wrong, but we'll see. They even got poor Kevin Hart. Can you imagine such a thing? Kevin Hart, let me tell you something. It was Kevin Hart's dream to host the Oscars. That's what he told me. Now I remember when he told me, because I was thinking to myself, well, that's an awfully strange dream for an African American. What kind of nigga dreams of hosting the Oscars? Kevin did, that's who. And he did it. Against all the odds, Kevin became the most famous comedian this world has ever seen, and he got the job that only one black man before him had had. He was going to host the 80th Oscars. And I don't know what you know about Kevin, but I know Kevin Hart is damn near perfect. As close to perfect as anybody I've ever seen. In fact, Kevin is precisely 4 tweets shy of being perfect. 10 years ago, Kevin had made some very homophobic comments. And I'm not going to repeat what he said, because this is Atlanta. You know what I mean. I'm sure there's a lot of gay men here tonight with their wives. Far be it from me to offend anybody. All right, I'll tell you what he said. But just remember, these were not my words. These were Kevin's words. And it was a long time ago. And I'm paraphrasing because I'm not good at telling other people's jokes. Okay, Kevin said that if his little son was demonstrating or exhibiting homosexual behavior around the house, that he'd chastise him. He'd say, hey, that's gay. And then he said he would smash a dollhouse over that child's head. Ooh, the gay community was furious. And I don't blame them. I got a lot of gay friends. And all of them, 100% of them, all have told me fucking horror stories about the shit they had to go through just to be themselves. Crazy, crazy stories. And in all those stories, I gotta say, not one of them has ever mentioned anything like their father smashing a fucking dollhouse over their head. Because clearly Kevin was joking. Think about it. You would have to buy this nigga a dollhouse to break it over his head in the first place. Does that sound right? Is anybody gonna do that? The gay community was upset, and then they put so much pressure on the Academy of Motion Pictures and Sciences that they went to Kevin and said, if you don't apologize to that community, then you cannot host these Oscars. And then Kevin said, fuck it, I quit. And then he went on every talk show in America and apologized for 6 weeks. Kevin fucked up. I understand the mistake he made because I've made the same mistake early in my career. This is many years ago, 15 years ago. It's when I was doing Chappelle's show. Thank you. On network television, they have a department that's called Standards and Practices. This is the department that tells you what you can and cannot say on television. And if you're doing your job well, you should never hear from them. But if you're making Chappelle's show, you'll hear from these motherfuckers all the time. And remember, this is 15 years ago. I made a mistake. I didn't even know I had done anything wrong. I had written a sketch that had the word faggot in it. So I had to go to Standards and Practices. They call me up. I don't know why they're calling me, but I like the lady that runs the department. She's usually really fair and was one of my favorite people I've ever worked with. So she sits me down. We have a nice conversation. She tells me, oh, the sketches are great. I go, oh, fantastic. Well, then why am I here? She said, because, David, there's no way that you can ever say the word faggot on our network. I didn't know I did anything wrong. I didn't try to defend myself. I said, all right, fuck it, I'll take it out. Have a good afternoon. And as I was leaving, it occurred to me, hey, Renee, quick question. It's just a question. Seriously, I want to know, like, why is it that I can say the word nigger with impunity? But I can't say the word faggot. And she said, because, David, you are not gay. I said, well, Renee, I'm not a nigger either. But you see, what I didn't realize at the time and what Kevin had to learn the hard way is we were breaking an unwritten and unspoken rule of show business. And if I say it, you'll know that I'm telling you the truth. The rule is that no matter what you do in your artistic expression, you are never, ever allowed to upset the alphabet people. You know who I mean. Those people that took 20% of the alphabet for themselves. I'd say the letters, but I don't want to conjure their anger. It's too late now. I'm talking about them L's and them B's and them G's and the T's. People be surprised. I have friends, all kinds of letters. Everybody loves me, and I love everybody. I got friends who are L's, I got friends who are B's, and I got friends who are G's. But the T's hate my fucking guts. And I don't blame them. It's not their fault, it's mine. I can't stop telling jokes about these things. I don't want to write these jokes, but I just can't stop.
Dave Chappelle is here. His sketch comedy show has been called the funniest half hour on television. Elvis Mitchell of the New York Times says Dave Chappelle isn't content just to play the race card. He shuffles the entire deck. Here is a look at a sketch from Chappelle's show.
Some people just know black people, right? Yeah, I'm serious. They got like gut instincts. Some people know black people. But who are those people? We don't know. So we got some people, and we put them to the test. Now, what you're about to see is absolutely real. These are real people. This is not actors. This is the real deal. Give it up for my new game show. I know black people. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
How can black people rise up and overcome?
How can they rise up and overcome? Well, can they?
That is correct.
Reparations.
That is acceptable.
This is a rap lyric?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, this is a general question.
Actual question.
All right. There's a complex answer there.
That is correct.
Staying alive.
That is correct. That is correct.
Well, stop cutting each other's throat.
That also is correct. How can black people rise up and overcome?
Get out and vote?
That is incorrect.
I'm pleased to welcome Dave Chappelle to this table for the first time. Welcome.
Thank you, Charlie. Good to be here,
Great to be here, man. I'm telling you. I have met your extraordinary family outside.
Thank you.
This high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wife, the 2 sons. Who would have known that a guy with a show like this would be a father?
There you go. And a good one, I bet.
Yeah, I'm involved.
Is home, where do you live?
Oh, I live in Ohio. Right. I'm a resident of Ohio.
Do you actually sleep there?
Well, like 6 months out of a year.
Yeah.
Ideally, I'll come here, I'll do the show.
Right.
Then I'm going on tour later tonight.
Right.
Check your local comedy listings. And then I'm gonna go home, man. I like to go back to the farm. It's one of those things like even Superman has a place in the North Pole where he can relax and be himself.
Right.
And it is good for me and my family.
To have that place.
In contrast to what I do, it's just kind of sane and normal.
Yeah. You say that your material is more cultural than political.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What does that mean to you?
Well, I mean, look, we live in a country that is incredibly culturally diverse, more so than racially diverse. You know, you could look at even in white culture, there's so many subcultures, so many different cultures that might not even interact, even though they're all the same race. Black culture is the same. Tupac doesn't hang out with the Huxtables or whatever. Right. But you know,
they never knew each other at all.
But you gotta bridge the gaps, man.
So there was within one race, but very different cultures.
Right.
One was the hip hop community. One was sort of suburban.
Right. And even
upper middle class.
Right. And even within partisan politics, there's people who I'm sure represent different subcultures within America. And I think that the comedy we do, more so than political, just deals with how these things in pop culture are absorbed
by these subcultures.
Yeah. But here's the interesting thing. How much of it is just is about black African Americans being black, the relationship, like the skit we just saw? Is it half of it?
No. Well, this is the thing. You got to remember, the show was written primarily by me and one other person.
A white person.
A white person. Now, I'm glad you said that because I found that it was interesting for people who say that, you know, I play this race card. I don't consider it a card. I think it's interesting that every publication, with the exception of USA Today, that I've read something about my show in, is compelled to mention the fact that my writing partner is white. People just think.
Now, why do you think they're compelled to do that?
People think in terms of race because the show is so racially charged.
Right.
They're amazed that a white person and a black person can be cohorts. And
yeah, I agree with you about race card. When you say race card, is that as if you're using your race for either to beat somebody up, or
it's too dismissive.
It's dismissive, exactly.
They're saying I'm being divisive, and that, you know, that
even though the person who said that is an African American himself was Mitchell.
Right. You know, well, yeah, when he said I wasn't offended, but normally I feel like it's just kind of divisive, and it's a real subtle way to dismiss any credibility to what I'm saying.
Yeah. Now the show itself is just what we just saw. It's you doing a kind of introduction of a bunch of skits.
Right. Now the thing is, originally the show was always supposed to be a real personal show.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why there's primarily 2 people writing it.
Right.
Because you can't hire 12 people and be
write
like
a personal story.
Right.
It'll,
my point
it'll
of
lose
view.
the voice.
Exactly. And last year we were establishing a voice. Then the fact that I don't want to read through a stack of papers and try to figure out who's going to be the funniest guy on paper.
Who were you influenced by? I mean, I would assume you got to say Richard Pryor, because it seems
absolutely
not to be influenced by Richard Pryor is not to have any
comic work in America, whether they know it or not, was influenced by what he's done.
And what was it about him that made him so powerful and influential?
He's
the genius?
He spoke the way that people speak. He took a very specific set of circumstances and conveyed them so that people who didn't even live those circumstances could understand what he was talking about. Because he had such a human element to his work.
Yeah.
He changed the way that comedians engage their audience, the way they pace the stage. He brought a lot of things to comedy. He's kind of like Coltrane for comedy, like the last innovator.
Yeah. He would go up and down the stage, all the way across the stage. He wouldn't just stand there.
Right, and he had that thing where if you watch his show, you felt like he was talking directly to you.
Yeah.
Even if there was 1,000 or 2,000 people in the room with you. Just the way he engaged an audience just was very intimate, no matter how big the venue.
Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, they can't honor him enough. Take a look at this. This is a frontline parody from our own PBS. Here it is. Clayton Bigsby.
He was the only Negro we'd ever had around here. So we figured we'd make it easier on Clayton by just telling him and all the other blind kids that he was white.
And he never questioned it.
Why would he?
You've written 4 books now.
I've written 6 books. They published 4.
What would you say is the overall message of your books?
Sir, my message is simple. Niggers, Jews, homosexuals, Mexicans, Arabs, and all kinds of different chanks stink, and I hate it.
I noticed you referred to African Americans. What exactly is your problem?
How much time you got, buddy? Where would I start? Well, first of all, they're lazy, good-for-nothing tricksters, crack-smoking swindlers, big butt-having, wide-nosed, breathing all the white man's air. They eat up all the chicken. They think they're the best dancers, and they stink. Did I mention that before?
Yes, I believe you did, sir.
Matter of fact, my friend Jasper told me one of them coons came by his house to pick his sister up for a date. He said, "Look here, nigger, that there's my girl. Anyone has sex with my sister, it's going to be me."
So the point is...
I like that sketch because it doesn't draw any conclusions. It just paints a portrait of an insane dude.
Yeah.
It's based off of true stories. Based off of my grandfather in reverse.
In reverse?
Yeah, my grandfather, if you saw him, he looks like a white man. For all I know, he is a white man.
Right.
He was born in a white hospital in 1911, so at least one of his parents were white.
Right.
As far as he knows, he's a black person. He's blind from birth. He was raised in black neighborhoods.
He was told he was black.
Right. He lives a black person's life.
Well, here's somebody who's told
and
they were
he's
white.
told the opposite.
Right, right.
So I just figured, what if someone...
The idea of using the N-word so much, is it simply because is there some goal in doing that?
Absolutely not.
None.
Nah,
if you use it so much, it'll somehow take away from the...
I think that's a byproduct of it. You know, see, I've been to entire symposiums on, like, the appropriateness of this word.
Right.
And I have never in my life experienced a word that draws so many different feelings out of people, black and white, you know.
But white comedians can't do it.
Absolutely not. I mean, they'd have to be really inventive and careful. Lenny Bruce did it.
Yeah.
Lenny Bruce made a good point about it, about the power that people give words.
Richard Pryor used it.
Richard Pryor used it. Richard Pryor wasn't making a point. That's just the way
he was using
spoke.
the vernacular he knew.
Right, exactly. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. You know, there are people that speak that way. That's one of the subcultures in America. Right, it's a rather large subculture.
And it's spoken more among African Americans than it is among
and
any other culture.
Right. So the subculture that is in the top upper echelons of these media machines might deem it inappropriate for use. Meanwhile, people who consume their products on the street say it all the time. They know what context to say it. They know who and when and why and where they're saying it. And just because the people who own the, where am I supposed to go to be myself on television?
But you'd be offended if you walk out of this building and somebody says something to you using the N-word.
Absolutely. I'd be fighting mad.
You bet.
Because see, if I see another black person,
you're not using,
and I greet him that way, I don't think he would assume that I was trying to offend him. If a white person greets in that way, it's either A, it's malicious, it's bringing up this, just bringing up whatever the history is, or B, it's just insensitive and inconsiderate.
Or C, stupid.
Oh yeah, just C,
it just
stupid.
doesn't know.
All right.
Yeah.
There are a few white people out there, I'm sure, black friends, that say that with their black friends with no consequence. But that's in the confines of their own personal friendships.
Right, exactly. All right, take a look at this. This is a sketch that examines what it would be like if a white Ozzie and Harriet family had an unusual last name.
This is my favorite.
Is your favorite?
Yeah,
all right, roll tape.
People would come up to me like, white people would come up to me like, man, that sketch you did about them niggers, that was hilarious. Take it easy. You know, I was joking around. You start to realize these sketches in the wrong hands are dangerous. You know, and that N-word is a doozy, especially for us black folks. You know, a lot of different feelings come up when they hear that word. But I'm thinking, is it because that black people actually identify themselves as N-words? No, I don't know. Maybe. But what if we just use the word for other people? Would it be so bad? I don't know. So I made a sketch. It's about a white family whose last name happens to be nigger. That's all. Let's see how offensive the word sounds to me. Morning, niggas.
Why, it's Clifton, our colored milk man.
And it's my favorite family to deliver milk to. The niggas. Something sure smells good. You niggas cooking?
We sure are. There's some leftover bacon if you'd like some.
Ooh, not for me. I know better than to get between a nigga and their pork. Might get my fingers bit. Here you go. I hate to bother you about this, but, well, you didn't pay your bill last week. And I know how forgetful you niggas are when it comes to paying bills.
Golly, Clifton, it slipped my mind. Here you go. Sorry about that.
Oh, nigga, please. Nigga, please.
And one of your favorites.
I love this sketch.
You started performing when you were 14?
Yeah. I started real young. It was one of these things where When I was 14, there was an article about Bill Cosby in Time magazine, and I was writing a book report on him. And in reading about the guy, I realized that being funny was a marketable skill. Like, I realized this guy came from nowhere.
Yeah.
And he was like a billionaire.
Yeah, exactly.
Just from telling jokes.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do. It was one of those things. And I just never stopped.
Well, but did you have a natural instinct for it, or did you simply say, if I get in there early and I work my butt off, then I'll be okay?
Comedians are born. There's some.
Are they really born?
Yeah. Now, there's some guys, look, I'm going to tell you like this. With the run the risk of sounding cocky, right. I have a natural ability for this that not every guy necessarily has. Some guys I see that are real funny that work tremendously hard to be that funny. Some guys literally can just talk funny.
They have that X factor.
It's a certain thing. And a guy like Eddie Murphy, he might be one of the funniest dudes I've ever spoken to in casual conversation. And I mean, this guy is just like, his talent is enormous. Like, if you meet him, you forget. Okay, you're one of the biggest grossing comedy stars of all times in the world. He is incredibly funny.
Yeah.
There's another guy that works real hard that'll get a sitcom or he'll get a shot just by merit of showing up and by putting the work in. He'll get a shot, but he'll never be like Eddie Murphy.
Roll tape. This is a sketch in which you get a call from Miss Oprah.
Hello?
Dave, it's Oprah.
Oh. Hey, what's up, girl?
Look, Dave, I'm pregnant.
Are you sure it's mine?
No, Dave, listen, it's yours.
Got you, bitch.
What?
Hold on 1 second. All right, look, over. I'm gonna fly to Chicago tomorrow, okay? But I'm gonna need you to send me a ticket.
I'll fly you out.
One, baby. Could you have a limousine pick me up at the baggage claim? Because I don't have no cab money to get from the airport to your house.
Okay, sure thing.
Thanks, boo. Oprah? I love you, baby.
I love you too, David Chappelle.
All right. I'm going to go to work and tell everybody the good news tomorrow, and I'll see you in Chicago. Bye-bye.
Hey, everybody, got an announcement to make. Ding, 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 ding. I quit. Excuse me. Got a quick word with you? Kiss my ass. Can you type a memo of that and send it around? I quit.
Dave, what's gotten into you?
Oh, Sally, it's not what's gotten into me. It's what's gotten into Oprah. My seed, son. I'm rich, bitch.
We know where the payoff is, don't we?
Oh, yeah. I love that sketch, too.
Yeah. Now, how long? You signed a new contract with Comedy Central?
No, I'm done.
You're done?
I'm technically unemployed. It's one of those things, man.
Weren't you doing well?
It was doing great. They want to renegotiate.
No, but why don't you want to renegotiate?
Well, I got to take a minute. Like, I just put the show to bed last night.
Yeah.
And the beauty of the way people like this show and what it's like to do a show like this, I don't think people would ever understand the amount of work that we put into it. That's why I appreciate my show, And I hope that the big story from this is that I'm a guy that has done 11 television show pilots. Went out to Hollywood. Disney signed me up a few times. Universal signed me up. Done one for Fox. I've done one for this one, for that one. And they always liked me. They always like, yeah, Dave Chappelle, he's really funny. Maybe he's like an Archie Bunker type, or maybe we can do like Seinfeld with him, or maybe we can, a million ideas they had, none of which worked at all. At all. And the whole time, when I'm the guy, I would say, well, I have an idea about how I want to do this. And I was the last person they wanted to hear from. They would say things like, people watch television for regularity. So I was more from your school. I want a show that can be anything.
Right.
No, people don't like that.
I know.
Our research shows and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah.
I know.
And then they finally, after all these years, I get an opportunity to do a show. And Comedy Central says, do what you want. And it was overwhelmingly successful. Overwhelmingly. Like, the best case scenario for what could have happened. With number one show on the network, I go down the street and people are saying the stuff from the night before.
Right.
You know, screaming it at me. And it was two guys who were virtually just not being used.
Yeah. Maybe you got to go to the source. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank
Great
you
to have
so
you.
much, man.
Pleasure.
Pleasure. It's an honor to be here, man.